carried out the operation in a troubled neighborhood, but residents and families are condemning the tactics used. Human rights groups have also voiced concern over the growing number of deadly police operations in the city. Let's listen in to one of the victims' family member.
Falei, você vai embora comigo. Vamos viver outra coisa. Chegou, disse em nome de Jesus, chega. Aí ele botou ficar surgindo e eu tô obrigado. Olha, quantas mães mais não choraram? Quantas mães mais não lá dentro procuraram corpo dos filhos, nada. Gente, pelo amor de Deus, sabe? Eu tô cansada, eu só quero enterrar o pessoal. Caramba. É algo que eu nunca imaginei que eu ia sentir na minha vida. Não tem explicação. Da dor de você perder um filho. Você olhar o seu filho com a cabeça estourada. O que aconteceu ali foi algo muito...
A day after Rio's deadliest raid and hours after families and residents laid dozens of dead bodies on a street in one of the targeted communities to show the magnitude of this operation, dozens of favelas residents gathered in front of the state's government headquarters, shouting assassins and waving Brazilian flags stained with red paint. Questions have been raised about the death count and the state of the bodies, with reports of disfigurement and knife wounds. Police and soldiers had launched the raid in helicopters, armored vehicles, and on foot, targeting the Red Command gang. They drew gunfire and other retaliation from gang members, sparking scenes of chaos across the city. Here's what the protesting residents in Rio have said.
A visão da favela hoje é de genocídio. São 80 corpos que nós descemos hoje. E quando Bolsonaro teve 40 quilos de cocaína no seu avião, não morreu ninguém. Quando pegaram o Lessa com 116 fuzil, ninguém morreu. Por que só matar na favela?
Protesto mostrando que nós, moradores de comunidade, também nós temos educação, nós temos coerência. E diante da covardia do Estado, nós estamos respondendo com o nosso silêncio. E mais uma vez, complexo da fé e complexo do alemão.
Now we move on to our next news. U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio has announced in a post on X that the United States is ready to provide immediate humanitarian assistance to the people of Cuba affected by the hurricane Melissa. Across eastern Cuba, officials say 735,000 people were evacuated as the storm approached. Cuban President Miguel Diaz-Canel has confirmed that no fatalities had been reported so far. The U.S. National Hurricane Center has said that Melissa weakened to a Category 3 after leaving widespread devastation in Jamaica and Haiti, where dozens were killed. The U.S. embargo against Cuba in place since Fidel Castro's 1959 revolution continues to restrict most trade and aid flows. Some restrictions were further tightened under President Donald Trump's first term. The Dutch election ended in an extraordinary cliffhanger there on Thursday, with just 15,000 votes separating the centrist D66 party led by Rob Jetten and Geert Wilders' far-right Freedom Party. With 19.7% of votes counted, Jetten's pro-European D66 holds a narrow lead, while around 100,000 overseas ballots still remain votes historically favoring D66. Even if Wilders comes close, every major party has ruled out working with him, meaning Jetten is on track to become the Netherlands' youngest and first openly LGBTQ+ Prime Minister. The result comes amid a surge in far-right movements across Europe and marks a decisive moment for the country's political direction. Wilders' PVV is projected to win 26 seats, a sharp drop from 2023, while smaller right-wing parties, JA21 and Forum for Democracy, have made strong gains. coalition talks will likely take weeks as D66 seeks to build a broad alliance with the VVD Liberals, CDA centrists, and the Green Labour bloc, a challenging mix after one of Europe's tightest elections in decades. Now we move on. The leader of Dutch centrist D66 party, Rob Jetten, has stated that he's very confident about forming a new government. With almost all votes counted, Jetten's D66 is virtually tied for the lead with the far-right Freedom Party led by anti-Islam populist Geert Wilders. Mainstream parties from the left to the right have in recent weeks excluded joining a government with the PVV, effectively ruling out his options for a viable coalition. Meanwhile, let's listen in to what Jetten has said about the results.
I'm very happy with this historic result for my party, the best result in our history, and also a very strong message from Dutch voters that they want positive political powers in the center to work together and to deliver for all the people in the Netherlands.
Now we move on to our next news. France and Togo hosted a conference in Paris on Thursday to mobilize international humanitarian aid for Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo and support peace talks led by the United States and Qatar. Togo's Foreign Minister Robert Dussey has called the conflict a regional crisis and a collective failure of the international community. Mediation efforts by the US and Qatar have faced setbacks as thousands have been killed and hundreds of thousands displaced in the eastern region. The M23 rebels, who launched a major offensive this year, now hold more territory than ever. A UN report in July has said Rwanda exercises command and control over M23 rebels, despite Kigali's denial of support. This is what Robert Dussey has said.
Depuis plusieurs décennies, et plus particulièrement depuis la reprise des hostilités au début de cette année, la région des Grands Lacs vit une tragédie. Des millions de personnes déplacées, des familles déracinées, des femmes et des enfants victimes d'atrocités, des communautés entières prises en otage par la guerre. Ce n'est pas seulement pour nous une crise congolaise, elle est une crise régionale.